And today's topic is called tough love, and I'll explain why I'm talking about that in just a minute. So if you're joining me, come and say hello, let me know that you're here, and we'll get cracking from there. I've had some follow-up questions from last week's live about self-care, and I actually received quite a big download, which I'm still processing, and I'm trying to form into a coherent subject that I can talk to you guys about. And it's around the idea that self-care is also actually related to feeling stability within yourself and within your life. And so I have begun to formulate some ideas, but they are not fully fledged yet, and I'm still understanding them. So I will share my understanding with you once I've got there. If there is any other topic that you would like me to talk to you about, please let me know. You can either message me within the group, or you can send me a DM. I don't mind either, and then I will talk about it. I can see I have one viewer. Say hello. So I can see who you are. It's not showing me who you are at the moment, so please say hello. Let me know how your week has been, and can you think of, just for something different to talk about, can you think of one instance where you feel either your higher self or a member of your non-physical team has helped you? Hello Leonie, how are you? We're going to be talking about tough love in a minute, and I'll explain how that topic came along. One of the things those of you who don't watch my lives regularly may not know is that the way my lives come about quite often is because my team want me either to gain understanding about something, or they want me to put something into place for myself. So they're essentially using my lives as a teaching practice for me, and then I'm sharing my understanding with you guys. So if you ever have questions, or you need more clarity on what I've said in the lives to do with that subject, then by all means please do put questions in the comments, because if you've thought of those questions, someone else has thought of those questions. Hello Gwen. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. When I go on courses, I ask loads of questions, rather annoyingly for the tutors sometimes, but I'm a great believer in asking questions. Are you all recovered from your extra day in Italy, Gwen? My question was today to all of you who are watching, is there an instance where you feel your team or your higher self has helped you? Can you share that with the group? So if that's happened to either you or Leonie, I'd love to hear that. Okay. For those of you that are new to the group and don't know much about it, I'm going to reintroduce myself. My name's Sunyana. I have been a Reiki master teacher for over 23 years and a holistic therapist. And my focus previously in my previous business, which was called Feel Good Treatments, was on anxiety relief. I've also had lots of experience working in cancer care and motor neurone disease and those similar types of illnesses. And last year I closed that business and opened this business, because the thing I noticed that really helped clients was if they understood how energy flowed, and they understood that everything that they were experiencing, there was an energy flow behind it, and also that they have the ability to feel into that energy flow and then take decisions based on it. And that gives you a sense of empowerment and a sense of being in control of your life, which we all want. At the top of the group is a pinned post, and it is a higher self connection process. It's completely free. You click on the link, it will take you to a landing page where you just sign up, and then it gets sent to your email box. Hello Julie, how are you? I'm just reintroducing myself, so you will have heard this, but it's okay. This is the simplest way for you to connect to your higher self. And I will always encourage you to do that, because your higher self has a wealth of knowledge, unconditional love, and they want to help you, right? and I'm all for let's get as much help as we can from as many sources as we can. Higher selves love to do things with a great deal of jollity and laughter. It's not all really serious with them. So I'm always going to encourage that. You can work with me in a variety of ways. You can book higher self readings. I do some higher self coaching. All of my work is very solution focused. So I'm not the sort of person who will do a reading and leave you with nothing. I like to leave you with some homework to do and 2 or 3 things to do as follow-ups. It's very solution orientated. It's quite annoying for the people in my lives because they can't just tell me something. I have to give them a solution. You can also go to my Etsy store and buy merchandise, and there are other ways to work with me that I'm still formulating, but I'm looking at bringing in some kind of program to help people, and I'm in the process of recording some self-study courses. And then the final way you can work with me is to become an affiliate to do with my merchandise. I offer 10% commission on all merchandise. If you would like to become an affiliate, just put affiliate in the comments and we will set you up. And basically you share your link with everybody and anybody, and if they buy anything from my store that is £8 or above, then you will find that you get 10% of that. And the reason I've done £10 or above is because I have got some digital art that's coming onto the page, onto my Etsy shop, but that will be only like £2 or something. I haven't quite set the pricing, but it won't be very expensive pricing. So that's a bit about me, a bit about the group. This group is set up to help you guys connect into your higher selves and to encourage you to try things out and to look at things from a new perspective. So that's what this group is. And hopefully to give you community and a tribe as well, and hopefully meet some lovely people. Julie, the question I'm asking everyone today is there an instance this past week, since last Tuesday, that you felt your higher self or your team have helped you with something specific? Can you share that with the group, please? Gwen. Now, Gwen got stuck in the lovely Florence for an extra night, so yeah. Oh yes, 2 flights, yeah, because you had to fly into Heathrow, didn't you? So yeah, but I hope you had a nice weekend and you had a good time there. Okay, so let's crack on. I want to talk about tough love. Now, the reason I talk about this topic is I'm currently working with someone at the moment who really wants me to do her work for her. And today I had to give her the tough love talk, right? And the tough love talk is really about me saying that no one can do your work for you. And I say this with the utmost love and respect for each and every one of you and my client who I was talking to. So to give you an example of what I mean by this, my client is really stuck in victim mode, and when she finds the going gets tough, she kind of is very reactive. She gets angry really easily. She gets depressed really easily. She kind of vacillates between depression and anger. She gets very passive aggressive, very defensive sometimes in her conversation. And she'll say things like, well, I've done the best I can, right? And she has had a difficult past. She was married to someone who was domestically violent and narcissistic, and she had to leave with 2 young children. And despite that, and despite a lot of cultural issues and familial issues, she has managed to raise 2 lovely kids. They're both graduating from university, and you know, she's made a life for herself, and she is beginning to go out into the world now as a therapist to help women who've been in a similar situation to her. But her resistance to doing the work she's asked me to help her with has meant that we're proceeding quite slowly, and she gets quite worked up. And so today I kind of had to say to her, look, you have all these tools. I've taught you the releasing process. No one else can do this work for you. And this is tough love, right? Now, Florence would have been great. So the question that I asked her, that I would ask you, if you are finding change difficult, if you find yourself repeating the same cycles over and over again, and by cycles I mean, for example, you have a relative that you get on really well with for a short period of time, and then they do something that upsets you, so you step away for a little bit, and then they sort of woo you back in, and so you think, oh, okay, I'll let this go. And then before you know it, you're back to, they're doing something really nice, and then they're really horrible, and then you're back to this kind of retreat wooing process that goes on. This is a really, really common cycle that many, many people experience, okay? Now, you can ask yourself, am I happy to stay in this cycle? And if you are, fine. But if you are not happy, then you need to make a change, right? Another example would be, supposing you're someone who regularly goes through periods of calm, and then you're really upset over everything. Everything makes you upset, and you feel dissatisfied, and you feel frustrated, and you feel, oh, life is not living, and you've gone from life is quite good to life is not living in a relatively short period of time. But it's a cycle, again, that you keep repeating. This is a cycle of thought and patterns and habitual thinking. Well, if you keep doing the same things again over and over, then nothing changes, and so that cycle is never broken. But again, if you are happy to remain in that cycle, go for it, right? But if you're going to, hi Monica, if you're going to seek out groups like this, particularly my group, I am always going to urge you to move towards what feels good to you, right? So to move away from discomfort, move away from your habitual patterns, move away from your habitual cycles of behavior, thinking, interacting with other people, those relationships. And I'm going to encourage you to take the easiest, simplest thing you can do to move into something that feels good to you. Okay. Now, I use the word encourage because I can't make that choice for you. I show up every Tuesday, and I'm going to keep showing you. I'm going to keep talking to you. I'm going to talk to you about divine love and self-care and doing something nice for yourself. I'm going to keep calling you and showing you to feeling good. But ultimately, you have to take that decision. Now, and this is sort of related to last week's topic of self-care. Sometimes making a change can feel really scary, even if it's a small change, okay? Even if it's the difference between putting a teaspoon of sugar into your tea or coffee or not. You know, that might feel like an overwhelming change. I'm not underestimating how scary change can feel, and I'm not underestimating how difficult it can feel. However, you guys in this group have the most wonderful set of higher selves who are clamoring to help you. And so, because of your higher selves, you also have access to flows of energy. So what do I mean by flows of energy? What I mean by that is, if you connect to your higher self and say, this is my situation, what is the simplest, easiest path out of it? They will show you that path. Now, some of you will perceive this through knowing, some of you will perceive it through seeing, some of you will perceive it through hearing. You might hear a word that's calling to you. Some of you might perceive it through all those senses. It doesn't really matter how you know. It's about being open to that information, to that flow that your higher selves are giving you. The next bit of the flow is to understand what is the nudge your higher self is giving you. So is the nudge, for example, so an example that for me that's going on at the moment is like one of the nudges I'm really feeling is to not watch much TV. It's been going on for a little while now, and to be really careful what I watch, okay, because it's affecting my vibration. And so the nudge I'm getting instead is to do some art, or to do some design on Canva for my Etsy store, or to go into my garden. Now, as a person, I have free will here, and I have the choice about whether to follow that nudge and take action or not. But if I don't take that action, my higher self might bring me another nudge to help me make that small jump, but they can't make me. And until I take that action and I allow myself to move into the flow of energy, there's nothing they can do to help me, and nothing changes. Hi, Urvashi. So the power of change lies with you. So Monica's just saying that you need to change jobs, but you're scared. So the thing I would say to you, Monica, is a couple of things. What is it that you're scared about? And can you use the releasing process that Liv and Raf talk about in the Believe book to help you release those fears around changing jobs, okay? Or can you kind of write down, what is it I'm worried about, and see, is this a truth? Is it really true what I'm feeling here? These fears, are they correct? Are they true? Or is there a better truth I can reach for? In the moment, I'm just doing what is it? Why do you need to change then, Monica, if you're doing something that you love, but you need to change? So tell me that. Julie, I was struggling with anxiety and couldn't seem to control it. Nice. Now that is perfect, right, Julie? Because you could have continued to struggle with your symptoms and ignored that nudge from Hannah, and you would have spent all night feeling anxious and then had a bad night's sleep and felt rotten this morning. But you just remembered and you knew to do your breathing exercises, and that helped calm your anxiety. I mean, this was like the most perfect thing that you could give us, Julie, as an exercise. I love it, right? And it's a perfect example of how the nudge came and she took action for it. And because of that, change happened. Now, the other change that Julie would have experienced but not realised yet is she's begun to break a pattern, right? Whatever it was that was triggering her anxiety, by connecting to Hannah and doing the breathing exercise, she began to overwrite the trigger and her body's response to it. And this is what happens when you start to take small, simple steps and you start to follow the path of the flow of the energy. Okay, so you're doing something you love at home, and at work the duties are changing and you cannot physically do it. Okay, so in this instance, Monica is feeling there's an element of, I feel trapped because they're asking me to do something that I don't want to do and I feel I cannot do physically, but I need the income because we need money to exist and pay our rents and mortgages and whatnot and buy food. And then but there's something I'm doing at home that I really love, and I would far rather do that as a job, but I don't know how to make that into a career, right? Or how to earn money out of it, okay? So Monica, your work here, first of all, is to connect to your higher self and then say to them, can you help calm me down? Bring me some ease. That's it. Literally, let me practice ease. So I've said on here and in various client sessions, for about 13 months, I listened every single day to Abraham Hicks's Everything is Working Out for me every morning. And sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, right? So the reason I listened to it was because at the time I was experiencing a great deal of stress and I didn't see how it would end and how I would get out of that situation. So I needed to change how I approach my day. Instead of waking up feeling doom laden and, oh my God, it's another day of the same, I needed to change it up. And so that's what I chose to do. That was the nudge I got, and I went and listened to it. And even now, do you know what? If I'm having a bit of a bad day or I feel wobbled, sometimes I'll just go back to it. I used to sit with my eyes closed and just listen to it. And I even now I can probably recite most of it verbatim, right? Because it had such a big impact on me. So the first thing, Monica, is find something, ask your higher self to help you find something that will bring you ease. What can you do that will help you feel calm, that will help just reduce the anxiety, help reduce the frustration, the feeling of being trapped? Once you feel you have reached calm, you're then going to say to your higher self, right, you know what I love to do. Is there any way you can show me how I can start moving towards that in a way that I earn money from it? And by earning money, I mean I need to earn at least X amount every month so that I can pay all my bills and live my life. Because it's more than just surviving. We want to be thriving. So if you, for example, need 2,000 a month to survive, you're going to ask your higher self to help you get to 2,500, so you have £500 a month to put towards savings or going out or eating out, whatever it is that you want to do, okay? And I want you to notice the nudges. Notice when she's sending you songs to reassure you, or signs or words, or someone gives you a message that you didn't expect. Notice if the same thing keeps coming up over and over and over again. It's really funny, on my Instagram feed, I keep getting these nudges around how my life is going to change a lot. And these are not people I follow, they're just turning up, and it's been going on for about a month now that things keep coming back to me. So I'm learning to expect that something big is going to happen and it's going to change my life for the positive. Fantastic, right? But I'm not getting worried or caught up into the how. So Monica, I want you to remember, don't get caught up in the how my life is going to change or how I'm going to get a new job, because that's what kickstarts your frustration and your anxiety. Okay? Julie, I was out with my daughter at the time at a concert, but don't do well due to my vision problems. It could have easily... Yeah, so, I mean, that's amazing, Julie. First of all, that you went to the concert, and then how well you managed to manage your anxiety, because that could have spoilt the evening for both of you, right? But instead, hopefully, you got to enjoy the concert. And you also learned that you're in control of how you feel in your body. So you know, if you go to another gig or another concert of some sort in this crowds, you know how to calm yourself down, because Hannah has shown you straight away. Nothing else matters than yes. I mean, for me, that is a really big mantra, actually, Gwen. It's like, I want to feel good in everything I do. So, you know, even before I do a Tuesday live, I feel into it. Does it feel good to me? Do I feel excited? Does it give me an uplift? And I love doing these lives. But there are some days where it just doesn't feel good to me. And so either I'm not feeling very well or there's something else going on. And so it's a rare occasion that I postpone or cancel a Tuesday live. But sometimes it's necessary because it does not feel good. And if you all just set that intention with your higher selves, that I want to feel good every day in anything I'm doing, they'll help you do that. Okay, so this is you're getting messages for my life is going to change for the better. It's already been a couple of months. So if you're not experiencing it in your physical life, then you need to go back to your team, Monica, and you need to say to them, I've been getting this message for a while now. What am I missing? Show me what action is required from me. Do I need to go and speak to someone? Do I need to look at a website? Do I need to email someone or phone someone? Do I need to go and meet someone? Do I need to have a conversation with someone? It could be any number of things, and it might be just a very small thing, but it will make a huge difference. So to come back to my point, which is you guys, Gwen has her group, I have my group. We can keep showing you and teaching you, but it's really necessary for you guys to choose to take action, okay? And that action is to connect with your higher selves and follow the nudges. I want to also give you an analogy for flow of energy, because some of you who are visual, this will really help you, is what I'm receiving. So The way I often talk about flow of energy is either as a river, or I see it as channels or pathways, right? So an easy one to imagine is you're standing and in front of you are different forks, right? So if you had, for example, 3 choices, there would be 3 forks. If you had 7 choices, there would be 7. And you're going to imagine that you're walking down each fork, which you know so one fork might be change job. Let's take Monica's example. One job might be stay where I am. Another fork might be change jobs. And the third one might be start my own business doing the thing I love, for example. Monica's going to go with her higher self and walk down each path. And she's going to feel and notice, if she's clairvoyant and sees stuff, she's going to look around her. Does it look bright and cheerful and welcoming? Or does it look dark and heavy? Does it feel unfriendly? Does it make her want to retreat? If that was the case, the latter, then that's not the fork for you. So you come back to the beginning and you go down the middle one, which is stay in the same job. Okay, so we're going to feel into it again. And does it feel any better? And if it does feel better, okay, that's a possibility. But that feels a bit uncomfortable because they're asking me to do things I'm not sure that I want to or I'm capable of doing. And then finally, we've got the last one, which is go self-employed. How does that feel to Monica and her higher self? And let's say I'm not feeling into this properly. So Monica, please do not take this as gospel at the moment. But let's just say going self-employed feels like the most lit up, most thing I want to do, right? That does not mean that tomorrow you hand in your resignation. What it means is that flow of energy is flowing in that direction, right? Really strongly. So what we want to do now is say to your team, okay, if this is the path we're flowing, I need to do this in a really clever way so that I'm not financially going to experience any hardship, right? In a way, talking to your higher self can be a bit like asking AI for help. You have to ask the right questions to get the right answers, right? So if Monica decided she was thinking, she says, I'm thinking about self-employment. Okay, so if she's thinking about going self-employed, she needs to say to her non-physical team, right, I'm thinking of doing this. I feel like the flow of energy is taking me this way. How do I go about doing this so that I earn enough money from the get-go? So that there's enough money in my bank. I don't want to survive, I want to thrive. I don't want to feel like I have to give up stuff in order to move forward, right? How can I do that? And then, Monica, you sit with pen and paper and you start receiving from your team. And you make a plan and you do it strategically. You don't just quit and then go, oh my God, I've got no money. That is not working with the flow of energy. And from a tough love perspective, I would say I would never recommend that to you. I would always say do this in a strategic way. Okay? So, to summarize, I would love to take all the decisions you needed for you to change your lives. Well, I wouldn't actually, because it's too much pressure. But if you want to change your life, then you need to first of all make a decision and keep committing to that decision that I want something different. And that something different is hopefully to feel good, to enjoy life, to have lots of love coming in, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that talk to your team and then ask them to help you to find ease and to do the simplest things. Yes, Monica, you can. I'm going to do them in a minute. Ask them for, how can I feel good today? What action can you take to help you find balance in your vibration? And then start following the nudges and taking action. It really is as simple as that, but it's practice that makes perfect, and it's your willingness to keep recommitting to that choice of, I want to feel good, that are essential, right, in order for you to succeed. Okay. So I think I've covered everyone today. It's been a lovely chat with you. I hope those of you who lurk in the group also enjoy these lives, and I hope they're of help to all of you. And if you just a reminder, as I said at the beginning, if you would like to become an affiliate, just comment in the comments under this and I will send you some information. I typically pay 10% of everything over £8 in my Etsy store, and I would love you to all become my affiliates. That would be great. All right then, have a lovely week, look after yourselves, and I will be in touch very soon. Take care now.